Hello students, myself Sunanda Brother handling you a class on web technology and its applications. This is the course overview and course outcomes. Let us look into a quick tour of HTML of first chapter of module 1 in this particular video. HTML5 contains many structural and presentational elements. There are too many, so it will be difficult to cover all of this in this presentation. Rather than we just go through comprehensively, we will have a quick view on this common elements. So let me show you one sample document. See what is the meaning of document. I'll clarify you before going further. Usually if we are writing a program using a general purpose programming language, we call it as a program, right? So whatever the markup languages which we use for web page design, the programs written are called as documents. Rather, they are as simple as typing a text, that's why they are called as documents. So here we'll see one sample document. So the part of the web page is containing one tag, one set of tags that is indicated with the number 1 is indicating heading level tags H1 and H2. So you know about the usage of this and importance of this, which we have discussed previously. Second element that we are going to look here is P, that stands for a paragraph element. So the way to use it is, this is the opening tag of paragraph. Write the content of a paragraph that you want to include, and if you want to end the paragraph, just mention a paragraph tag beginning with the front slash indicating it as a end of the paragraph, and this tag we call as a closing tag. So most of the elements in HTML appear in a pair, that is with the opening and closing tag. So within a para, in the next para we have a hyperlink to be inserted. So for that we are using a anchor tag, that is a tag. So one of the mandatory attribute that we must use with the anchor tag is hyperlink reference, which is termed as href, where the value of that is the file to which it has to be linked by clicking on the linking text. So this also we have seen in the previous example. So for anchor tag, specifying attribute of href is mandatory because it is mainly meant for linking the current page with some external page or some with the external website or within the website at some other part. So in order to specify where, after clicking where to go, href need to be used mandatorily. So then we should specify a linking element or linking object, that may be an image or a simple text like this Central Park, and then we are closing the anchor tag. Then again the paragraph is continued, and we have one more element that we are looking here is strong, which is used to highlight the part of the paragraph. Then the closing tag of paragraph. Say if we want to insert any image, again in order to say what image you would like to insert, the location of the file has to be mentioned. So that for that one of the attribute that has to be used mandatorily with the img tag is src. So src is attribute that we are using with the img tag. So you can just observe img tag is not coming in pair here, rather it appears single. So we are not just saying from where to where the image has to be ended, unlike paragraph or heading tag. So it is not necessary to specify in pair. So when you are using any element or tag in as a single, then we are just using that front slash after the tag name and then closing. That in this case img front slash then closing angle bracket. So but similar to anchor tag, this also requires a mandatory attribute, that is src, where we have to specify the path of the file name which has to be displayed on our screen. And one more is alt attribute. If this particular image is not supported by the browser, then it has to display some alternative text in place of the image. You might have observed this many a times when you are accessing the websites also. So if it is browser is not able to find the specified file, or if it is not supporting the specified image file, then it is alternatively displaying this text. So this text central park comes into appearance only when that image is not capable to be displayed by that particular browser. So then we have again a heading level tag as a reviews. Then under that we are using a division tag. So division is to divide your entire document into certain sections, as the name itself says, division. So it can have several paragraphs inside it like this. So you can observe inside this particular division we have 2 more paragraphs, and we are using time here. Time itself is a tag which is showing you this can be utilized effectively in JavaScript and all, like if you want to know the when the web page is loaded, if you want to have some interactiveness or adding a dynamicity to the web page, that case we can make use of this content. Otherwise there is no change in the output of the time output of this time tag or the one which is written in paragraph. Similarly we have another division of the element. Then we have used a small. As I said, if you want to display it in a small text comparatively, then we are using the small. So small as a one of the element, and it is opposite to the strong. Strong is highlighting, whereas small is displaying in a, it's another way of highlighting where the text is displayed in a smaller font size. This text is getting displayed, and you can observe and copy semicolon is used here. So this we call as a character entities. So the numberings which we have made here from 1 to 9, these all are discussed in detail in forthcoming sections of this particular video. So you can just observe here headings H1 to H6 indicated by number 1. So this is demonstrating you how the heading is displayed with the different styles. However, these styles can be modified with the cascaded style sheets also, which is the next part of this particular module. Then you can observe the difference in different levels of the headings in this particular slide. Paragraphs p tag is used. It's a container and it can contain HTML and other inline elements. Inline elements do not cause a paragraph break, but are part of the regular flow of the text. So we are going to look into inline HTML elements further. And anchor tag I discussed, which is used for hyperlink, right? So then there are different types of links. So we can, as I discussed, we can use an anchor element to create a wider range of links, link to external sites, different websites, link to other pages or resources within the current website, or link to other places within the current page. Also you can link it to a different part of the web page, link to a particular location on another page, link that are instructions to the browser to start the user's email program, links that are instruction to the browser to execute a JavaScript function. So these are all the different types of links. So different link destinations can also be there. Yeah, with respect to the types, we have a different destinations of the linking text. You can see linking to an external style sheet is done like this. Okay, linking to a resource on external site, a particular image you would like to link. So this is the way we are doing. And linking to another page itself. So within a website you want to link to another web page, that is done through just a specification of a HTML page. And within a web page you would like to go for some other part of the page. So here we are using a hashtag, and top is the ID of that particular element, which is used as an attribute where it is carried. So I'll show you this example particularly. See, all others are very clearer by their names itself. I'll just go to what you say, mail to. Yeah, this is linked to an email. This is how it is done. And go to the top of the document. So say top document is a heading. For that we should mention the ID equal to hash top, and you should specify within that anchor tag itself as href equal to hashtag. So it should go to that particular tag where top is mentioned. And similarly you can just link to any other element like a telephone as well. So let us look into other elements of the HTML in the next video lecture. Thank you.